Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to have you here with us today. Thank you for being a part of this moment. We have a captivating tale to unfold, so let us embark on this journey together. John and Patricia shared a bond that had deepened over the years of their marriage. To the casual observer, they appeared to be an ordinary couple, two souls intertwining as they crafted their shared journey. Yet within the confines of privacy, the reality was far from the illusion of perfection. Their union was anything but simple. Disagreements had woven themselves into the fabric of our days, some sparked by trivial matters, others by deeper concerns. Yet, they all appeared to lead to a singular truth. A subtle distance began to form between them. John, in spite of all that had transpired, held a profound love for his wife. He may not have been flawless, yet he poured his heart into ensuring a brighter tomorrow for them. They had been nurturing their dream of a home, a vision that John clung to as if it were a precious thread connecting him to his deepest desires. He envisioned a future where they could embrace a space that felt uniquely theirs. Yet, Patricia perceived the world through a different lens. One evening, it began like any other disagreement, subtle, almost trivial. John returned home from work, weary yet yearning for a serene evening to unwind. Yet, the atmosphere was thick with unspoken emotions. Patricia had expressed a desire for something, and John gently reminded her that it was not within their means at this time. Patricia felt a stirring doubt about the excuse offered, and as always, the disagreement swiftly evolved into something more profound, more intense, and undeniably heart-wrenching. Ivanka's tone carried an edge. She effortlessly casts a shadow over John, making him believe he is the source of their troubles, as if his unwavering efforts were somehow insufficient. "Why must I repeat myself to you time and time again?" she sighed, her eyes fluttering with a mix of frustration and allure. John endeavored to maintain his composure, striving to keep his voice even. "Ivanka, I'm putting in my best effort. I truly am. Yet, it seems that no matter my efforts, I can never quite reach your expectations." Patricia released a soft, mirthless chuckle. "Exploring? Is this what you refer to it as? This is an effort, John. This feels like you're offering only the slightest gesture, hoping I'll find gratitude in it." The words pierced her heart in ways she had yet to understand. John sensed a deep, simmering frustration just beneath the calm exterior. "Just enough?" he echoed softly. He wished to evoke in her the memories of all he had poured into their journey. The countless hours, the careful savings, the heartfelt sacrifices. But what was the purpose behind it all? It would remain the same. Ivanka's dismissive attitude pierced through me, leaving a lingering ache. She remained indifferent. John sensed a wave of frustration wash over him. He took hold of his keys, a gentle anticipation guiding him toward the door. He craved the gentle embrace of fresh air, a moment of freedom, anything to alleviate the heavy weight of inadequacy that clung to him. "I can't do this right now," he murmured softly, his voice barely audible as he turned away, leaving Patricia poised and unshaken in her place. He was blissfully unaware that this night held the power to transform everything. John had just taken a few steps down the street when the weight of his error began to settle in his chest. In his hurried departure, he left behind his wallet and card resting on the kitchen counter, a silent reminder of his fleeting presence. Frustration washed over him, yet he understood the necessity of returning. With a heavy heart, he turned and made his way back home. Upon arriving home, he gently eased the door open, careful to avoid stirring up any tension in the air just yet. As he crossed the threshold, her voice enveloped him, a soft melody that stirred something deep within. She held the phone to her ear, lost in a world of whispered words. Initially, he seemed distant, lost in his own world. His attention was solely on retrieving his wallet, eager to slip away before she became aware of his return. Yet her words froze him in place, leaving him momentarily breathless. I embraced a quieter choice. A shiver coursed through him. His heartbeat quickened, a rhythmic pulse echoing within him as his fingers lingered near his wallet. I longed to be with Tyler, yet I craved the comfort of stability. John sensed a heavy stillness enveloping the space, as if the very breath of life had been drawn away. She continued, "John possesses a kind heart, yet he is not the one I yearned for from the very beginning." In that instant, clarity enveloped John, as if the universe had whispered its secrets to him. The manner in which her tenderness often felt contrived, the discussions, the chilling gap that lingered between them. It felt as though she was merely weathering the storms of their marriage, rather than truly embracing the moments within it. It transcended mere financial matters. It never truly was. She intended it on a deeper level as well. Her feelings for him had never mirrored the depth of his affection for her. John gently gathered his wallet and card from the living room, stepping out of the house with a quiet grace, closing the door softly behind him. The night air caressed his skin with a cool touch, yet could not dull the piercing ache of the words that lingered in his mind. At first, he wandered without a clear destination in mind. His feet glided along the well-known streets, each step resonating with a sense of nostalgia. In time, he discovered himself in a dimly lit bar. It wasn't a place he often visited, yet that held no significance. He simply sought a place to rest, a space to reflect, a moment to allow the truth to envelop him gently, without overwhelming his senses entirely. He ordered a beer, took a sip, and allowed the rich bitterness to linger on his tongue. Yet, it paled in comparison to the deep ache that resided within him. Patricia had never genuinely desired him. He had devoted years to envisioning a future with her, holding on to the belief that their challenges were fleeting, that their connection, his devotion, was worth every sacrifice made along the way. Yet, it all felt devoid of significance. She had found her place, and in that moment, had unwittingly ensnared him in a union founded solely on convenience. The idea of facing her lingered in his thoughts. But what was the purpose? What might his words be? That he was aware of the truth? That he had listened to every word? She may express regret, perhaps even shed a tear, yet it would not alter the truth that her heart had always been elsewhere. As he gazed at the amber liquid in his glass, a subtle yet profound decision began to take shape in his mind. He would depart, not merely for the evening, nor just to find relief, but for eternity. He would fade away, leaving no remnants of his presence in her world, granting her the very thing she longed for, the liberation to embrace the one her heart truly yearned for. There was nothing to hold me here. There's no need to struggle for something that was never truly there. He ordered another beer, allowing the choice to linger within him, stirring a quiet intensity. This was the final evening he would share as Ivanka's partner. By morning, he would have slipped away. As the night deepened and Patricia drifted into slumber, John found himself enveloped in the soft, flickering light of his laptop screen. If she desired the company of another man, he would not obstruct her path. Yet, he would not depart without something to hold on to. He accessed their shared savings account. It was effortless. He had always been the one guiding their financial journey. The figures gazed at him, holding secrets within their silent embrace. They had been nurturing their dreams of owning a home. He claimed his rightful share of the funds, the part he had devotedly contributed on his own. Instead of pulling out cash, he delicately maneuvered his funds, acquiring resellable treasures online, electronics, rare collectibles, and precious items that could be effortlessly transformed into liquidity later. He meticulously considered every detail. After the transactions were finalized, he meticulously erased all evidence from his emails, creating a veil of secrecy that would keep Patricia from anticipating his next steps. Then he shifted his focus to what awaited him next. With a gentle determination, John gathered the essentials, important documents, a few carefully chosen garments to sustain him, and anything that might aid in his journey of renewal elsewhere. He felt no desire to hold onto anything that stirred deep emotions. The essence of what once was has faded, leaving only an emptiness that lingers in the air. Before departing, he lingered at the desk, gazing at the untouched sheet of paper before him. His silence spoke volumes. The truth lingered in the air, unvoiced and yet palpable, waiting for the moment to be revealed to him directly. He grasped the pen, allowing his hand to move with a gentle confidence. I caught every word that lingered in the air. Your happiness is something I cherish, and I will not be an obstacle to it. Go find harmony with your perfect companion. There are no accusations here. There shall be no clash. A tender farewell lingering in the air. As dawn broke, John had slipped away. Patricia woke, anticipating the gentle rhythm of another ordinary morning. As she emerged from the warmth of her slumber, her gaze fell upon the note waiting for her. It lingered on the table, anticipating her arrival. As she absorbed the words, a wave of unease washed over her. He understood. A wave of anxiety washed over her as she came to the realization that he was gone. Not for just a fleeting moment, not to find solace, but for eternity. And most painfully, she had led him to this point without even being aware of it. Her hands trembled as she reached for her phone, dialing his number, lingering in anticipation, yearning for connection. Yet the connection faded away. She made another attempt, and once more, silence envelopes the moment. Her fingers danced gracefully, unveiling the contents of her email. She crafted a message, allowing it to linger in its brevity. Yet, as soon as she pressed send, a wave of anticipation washed over her, and the reply came swiftly. Not received. Her breath hitched as she navigated through social media, gliding over her contacts, her heart racing at the thought of finding his profile. Utterly vanished. It felt like his presence had faded into the air, leaving only a whisper of what once was. A sense of longing begins to envelop me. She reached out to his workplace, holding onto a flicker of hope that he might be there. But the silence on the other end only deepened her longing. After what felt like an eternity, the receptionist finally picked up, and Patricia steadied her voice, carefully inquiring about John. The reply felt relaxed and unhurried. Oh, John. He stepped away this morning. Dispatched an email prior to the start of the workday. With immediate effect, Ivanka's fingers curled around the phone, a surge of intensity coursing through her. He had envisioned this moment. This was not merely a spontaneous response to their disagreement. He had been intentional, reflective. He had carefully removed every hint of his presence from her life. He had slipped away, leaving her with only a note and the weight of her own unspoken truths. For so long, she had thought of John as a constant presence in her life. Yet now, in the stillness of the empty house, gazing at the final token he had left behind, she understood the depth of her missteps. The weight of her choices settled heavily upon her, and she knew there was no way to undo the past. With John absent, Patricia felt a newfound freedom to reveal her true self. There was no reason to hide. There's no reason to wear a mask. She faced Tyler completely, the man she had always believed to be her destined companion. The connection, once shrouded in hushed tones and fleeting encounters, now lay bare for all to see. There were no barriers to her desires, no shadows of remorse clouding her heart. In the beginning, it seemed as though all the pieces had beautifully aligned. Tyler spoke with such warmth, igniting a sense of longing within her, and enveloped her in a comforting embrace of affirmation that she had chosen wisely. With him, there was an undeniable spark, a thrill that enveloped her, and a liberating essence that she felt John could never provide. This was the existence she had longed for, the existence she believed was rightfully hers. A few months after John disappeared, Patricia made the poignant decision to remove him from her life entirely. She initiated the divorce, deeply believing that he would not come back. In his absence, the court gracefully rendered a judgment that favored her, acknowledging her unwavering resolve. In an instant, she found herself unbound, embracing the future with a heart open to new possibilities, leaving the past behind. For a moment, it felt as though all was right in the world. Yet, as the moments unfolded, subtle fissures started to emerge. Tyler possessed an undeniable charm, yet there was an air of distance about him. He was there in a way that felt distant, expressed through mere words and a touch that barely skimmed the surface. Yet, in moments that called for true devotion, he seemed to fade away. He danced around the weighty discussions of what lay ahead, effortlessly shifting the topic whenever she ventured into that territory. In that moment, the truth started to reveal itself. Patricia realized that Tyler's commitment to her was not as deep as she had believed. He continued to engage with other women, nurturing connections beyond their own. What she had believed to be a profound, heartfelt connection revealed itself as merely a comfortable arrangement for him. She had walked away from a man who had poured his heart into her, seeking solace in the arms of someone who had no intention of reciprocating that devotion. The comparisons unfolded. The aspects she had once held against John now emerged, seen through a new lens. John, with all their disagreements, had consistently been a source of unwavering support. He was there in every sense, not merely in body, but in spirit as well. Even in moments of conflict, he remained passionately advocating for their union and nurturing hope for what lay ahead. He had given up his ease, his aspirations, and even his stability to create something enduring with her. Tyler, in contrast, had offered her only fleeting moments of thrill. There were no genuine offerings, no foundation, no assurance in what they were creating, for in reality, they had been crafting nothing at all. And then the understanding washed over her. She had always embraced the fullness of her desires. She had cast aside something genuine for a fleeting dream. What she shared with John was far from flawless, yet it was deeply authentic. What she shared with Tyler was everything she believed she desired, yet it was never destined to endure. Time had flowed gently by. Patricia remained unattached. The man she once envisioned as her true love, her perfect companion, never transformed into the dream she held in her heart. Tyler, the man she believed was her destined choice from the beginning, danced around the topic of marriage, leaving their connection shrouded in unspoken feelings. Each time she mentioned it, he would gently deflect, steer the conversation elsewhere, or simply let it fade away. Initially, she reassured herself that it was merely a matter of timing, that he simply wasn't prepared yet. In time, he would surrender himself to her, just as she had cast aside all for his sake. Yet, as time unfolded, the undeniable truth lingered closer, becoming increasingly difficult to overlook. Tyler never truly embraced the depth of her being. The truth settled in gently, each moment lingering with a bittersweet weight. She had walked away from her marriage, believing she was embracing true love, yet she found herself merely a fleeting presence among his many distractions. In the heat of their disagreements, Tyler always found a way to gently bring her back to a singular truth. "I never requested that you part ways with your husband." That sentence pierced her heart each time. It left her feeling exposed, filled with a simmering anger, but above all, a deep sense of regret. For he held the truth within his words. He never whispered the promise of eternity to her. He never urged her to turn away from John. That had been her decision, a decision forever etched in her heart. And now, from time to time, she caught herself lost in thoughts of John. Where could he be at this moment? Has he found a new path? Has he discovered a new connection? Did he create the life they once envisioned, but with someone else by his side? These thoughts washed over her in gentle surges, arriving softly when she was least prepared for their embrace. The more she turned away, the more their presence intensified. She had a partner who cherished her, a partner who dreamed of creating a future together. And she relinquished everything for someone who never recognized her as anything beyond a mere choice. And that is the tale that unfolds. What insights can we draw from this experience? At times, we overlook the true worth of our treasures until they slip away from our grasp. It's simple to take for granted the dedication of someone who genuinely cares, only to feel a deep sense of loss when they are gone. Individuals frequently pursue their desires, convinced that something or someone more fulfilling lies ahead. Ultimately, they discover that everything they sought was within their grasp from the very beginning. Words possess a profound influence. The words we share about our partners, particularly in those quiet moments when we believe they are unaware, hold the power to either deepen our connection or unravel it entirely. Love transcends mere feelings and thrill. It revolves around a deep connection, mutual admiration, and heartfelt companionship. Without those elements, even the deepest passion cannot fill the void. If you fail to cherish the warmth of someone's company, you might find yourself facing the chill of their departure. John turned and left, not driven by anger, but by a deep understanding that remaining in a space where he wasn't genuinely welcomed would only lead to further heartache. Some individuals hold a deep conviction in the pursuit of love, embracing every challenge that comes their way. Some can sense the moment to release what no longer serves them. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think John chose wisely by departing? Or would it have been better for him to remain and strive for his marriage? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Until we meet again, nurture yourself and embrace your wisdom.